tattoo. To some, it is simply just ink, while to others, their meaning is much greater. At places like Pino Brothers in Cambridge, Massachusetts, people express themselves with their body art. Art that has deep meaning, whether it's to inspire themselves or to remember those who have passed, each tattoo has meaning that goes beyond the surface. More and more people are choosing to eternalize their identity in ink.
Currently, I have about 11 tattoos. I got my first tattoo the day after I turned 18. I don't really know if I was inspired to get a tattoo, but I've always liked the way body art looks, so I've always kind of been, ever since I was little, I've been attracted to tattoos. So, I was just waiting for, me to be 18. I was definitely counting down the days. I was planning out my tattoos at age 14. My first tattoo was of it's a star with a heart in the middle. It was something that me and my dad picked out just because, he was like, oh, this looks kind of cute, and, I put it on my shoulder, something could be hidden. I think initially, too, my parents didn't anticipate me getting so many tattoos, so it got to the point where it was just like,
oh, this is
yeah,
one.
I'm going to get it, hey guys, just, I'm getting another tattoo, like, seriously? Yeah, I think some people are surprised to find out, if they see me, at work, for example, I have to cover up all my tattoos, so they see me one way, and then if they happen to catch me, wearing short sleeves or shorts, they're like, oh, I didn't know you had tattoos, they're a little surprised, and usually, they're fine with it. I've had a few people who kind of, shun away a little bit, almost because they're like, oh, this kid's a punk, covered in ink, but, which isn't the case, but I tend to get a lot of, older people, not like old people, but just older generations going, what's gonna happen when you're an old lady sitting in a nursing home and you're all, tattooed and, you're gonna be having a hard time seeing what the images look like. And I always tell them I'm not worried about later on down the road. I'm, getting body art done for now, and I won't be the only one in the nursing home, with tattoos. It's a generational thing. More and more, people my age and, a few years older and younger have been, are getting more tattoos. So I won't be, an outcast if that's a problem later on down the road. For my first tattoo, it was something I just picked off the internet, and now as I've progressed and started, having more and more tattoos put on me, I've been, trying to be more creative with them, picking tattoos that actually mean something to me versus just picking something off the internet, Google images, like, okay, that one, which I've done with a few of them, and, I've been trying to have, more meaning behind the tattoos that I have. Currently working on a Michael Jackson tribute sleeve, so I think Michael might be my favorite, but he's not done yet, so I have to wait till that one's done. Yeah, so my Michael Jackson tribute sleeve, the bottom part of it is Thriller Michael and a couple of zombies taking over Boston, and the upper part of it is another version of Michael and his pet monkey Bubbles to go down and save Boston from the attack of the zombies. The Michael Jackson sleeve I started maybe a couple months ago, so it's gonna probably, by the time it's done, might be, I'm hoping to have it done by the summer, because I know my Nightmare Before Christmas sleeve took about a year to get done. I've had most of my tattoos done at Pino Brothers Inc. in Cambridge, and Ben Pease has been doing some of my tattoos. When I went in there, they gave me the option to pick who I wanted, and actually it was kind of, I went in there for a consult, and they said, did you have anyone in mind who you specifically wanted to, to do the tattoos? And I picked Ben. Just I looked at his profile, the work that he's done in the past, and I liked his work. So when we did the consult, we kind of we discussed the type of work I wanted to have done, and told him the style I liked, and he kind of told me the type of work that he does.
I prefer to do tattoos that could be sort of rendered in the style of my paintings. Being an illustrator and a painter before I did this, sort of developed my own style. So anytime I get a chance to incorporate my style through whatever the subject matter is that the client wants, that's my favorite deal.
After getting the first one done, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad, and then I did another and another, and I was just like, I'm getting them done so frequently. I think maybe that's something I didn't expect initially was going to happen, and actually the fact that my tattoos are getting bigger and bigger. It started out as a small, shoulder tattoo, and the pieces that I have now are much larger. I think that was something I may not have expected to happen. I didn't regret any of the tattoos that I have. I had a tribal symbol on my forearm that my parents just absolutely hated because it was so big, and if you wear a t-shirt, you're obviously going to see it. So I had it for a year, and then I later had that tattoo laser removed, which was a lengthy process. It took about 2 years to do, and it's a lot more painful than getting the tattoo itself. The laser itself actually burns the skin and burns the ink right off you. So I would recommend to people, if they're gonna get a tattoo, definitely think it over and make sure you want to keep it, because that process is just extremely painful. There's actually one I might be getting rid of just to make room for a bigger tattoo that I want to get done, so it may not be that much of an ordeal. Me and my two other sisters have this tattoo. It's the Aries, Cancer, and Gemini zodiac signs, each representing the month that we were born in.
Stacy and my other sister Jamie and I, we all wanted to get a sister tattoo. So we were all gonna get, a symbol that kind of signified us. But then it got confusing because Jamie already has a music note tattoo. I already have one, and me and Jamie both like music, and Stacy's more of a Jack Skellington kind of person, so there's no point in getting another Jack. So we figured to get our zodiac signs. So it's Aries, which represents me, Cancer, which represents Stacy, and then Jamie's the Gemini. So we all have that on the same wrist. So whenever I look down at it, I see it every day in my life, obviously, but and this is my writing hand and everything. So when I look down at it every day, all I see is my sisters. When I got my first tattoo, I was 18 years old. I got it on the day of my birthday, and I left school early to get it done. It's of stars and music notes on my ankle. I got that one as my first one because I'm really inspired by music and I love singing. I have a lot of piercings, and I've always wanted a tattoo, and my older sister, she was the first one in our family to get a tattoo, so I just thought it was really cool, so I was interested by it. I like body art. Like I said, when I see a human body, it's like, okay, that's a nice body, but I don't know, I like body art on it, so. A lot of people think that tattoos are really painful and stuff. For me, I have a high pain threshold, so I wouldn't consider it painful. It feels like there's a bunch of paper clips, literally going up and down and just scraping against your body. I don't think it's painful. I actually think it's not necessarily relaxing, but I think it's a cool feeling, so tattoos don't really bother me. I have one on my ankle, I have one on my wrist, I have one that's directly under my boob, one on my side. I have one on my shoulder too. I'm gonna be getting the one on my side colored, so that's gonna probably take 1 or 2 more sessions, but I don't know, I'm debating on either getting a lizard or something stupid like that. I would definitely say that they can be addicting. So addicting, yeah, it's a strong word, but people get addicted to Facebook. They're on there all the time. People get addicted to whatever. I have 14 piercings. So yeah, you can call it an addiction, or that's like you said, it is a strong word, but I would definitely say that tattoos are addicting. I got a couple of piercings done at Pino Brothers, and I actually used to have my lip pierced, but someone hit me in the lip, so I had to take it out. I do have a lot of piercings, so I'm into the whole piercing and tattoo thing. Like I said, I like the whole body art and stuff like that. On my side tattoo, I have a big flower in the center for my dad, and then I have butterflies above and below it. I have one for my sister Jamie and one for my mom Vanessa, and Vanessa means butterfly in Greek. So, and then at the bottom of the tattoo it says "Butterfly Fly Away," which is song lyrics that the song actually means. It resembles a father that in the song it portrays the dad that raises a butterfly, his girl, and when she's able to fly away, he wants her to chase her dreams. So all my tattoos have inspiration, and under my boob it's kind of like by my heart where it says "Love Lives Forever," and it's for my family members who are still living and for my family members who have passed away. So they're always by my heart. And then I have a dove on my side for Stacy. She's a big influence in my life. She's my best friend, always will be. And I don't know what I would do without her. And my other tattoo is on my back. It's an impatiens flower, which was my grandfather's favorite flower. He passed away a couple of years ago, and he was definitely a big part of my life and inspiration. He was an awesome person. And so underneath the flower, it says patience is a virtue. And my dad always says that to me, even though I'm probably the most impatient person. But I have that, and it's actually in his handwriting. So that, you know, God forbid the day that my dad passes away, I'm always gonna have him on me, my grandfather, but most importantly, I'm gonna always have his handwriting on me, and you know, he's gonna be by my side. My sister's always gonna be by my side, and you know, I have my sisters on my wrist, and I'm walking around with all my family members on me, so.
Each individual work etched in skin is its own masterpiece, whether it be to the eye or to the heart. Tattoos can provide inspiration and hope in the darkest of times, or tattoos can bring us together, whether it represents a bond between sisters or the memory of a loved one who has passed.
I always wanted a tattoo when I was growing up, and then when I turned 18, the option was there, so I decided to take it. When I was probably around 12, I got a henna tattoo in California. I thought that was pretty cool. I always wanted a real one. I just knew I had to wait. I know some people go to random people to get tattoos underage and get these fake IDs. I decided not to do that. I decided to do it the right way, so I didn't end up regretting it or having an infection or whatever happens. I don't know any of the negatives that happen with it, but about that age. The one on my arm is my mom's maiden name, and it's a Celtic cross. I'm Italian, my last name's Italian, and I wanted to show that I'm Irish, and so I decided to get her name. I'm also very close with my mother, so I thought I'd do that. The one on my ribs, on my collarbone here, is basically for myself, for my own inspiration, and the same for the one on my ribs. My second tattoo was about a year later. It's actually just an addition to the first one. I added the Connors part because I felt it was too bare. My favorite one is, well, actually I have one up my ribs. It's Italian, and it says "Conquer My Fears" in Italian, and it's my favorite. I like the location of it. I like the look of it. I think it looks good. I do plan on getting more. I'm not too sure what. Right now, I basically have all text or font tattoos, and I kind of want to get some art. And I was thinking somewhere around the chest area, and maybe some more on the arm, do like a half sleeve or something. Not too sure. I work with children. I work at the Boys and Girls Club. Every once in a while, they'll see my arm tattoo or my rib tattoo if I'm like throwing a dodgeball or something, and they'll kind of judge me for a bit. They'll think I'm a bad guy just because I have tattoos, and they associate it with bad people. But other than that, I haven't had any negative reactions towards them. I don't mind the price just because it's going to be with me for my whole life, and if they do a good job, then I'm happy to pay them. I'm happy to give them a tip after. I'm going to be spending over $200 for all my tattoos. Like, each one costs over $200. So it's kind of pricey, but I think it's worth it. Well, for my chest one and my rib one, they mean a lot to me because I have what's considered a mental illness. It's called depersonalization, and it's I guess you can define it as just extreme anxiety, and they mean a lot to me, and they kind of help me get through some of my pain that I have at times. I always have it. It's chronic, so I'm always dealing with that. And the tattoos just remind me to stay strong, and they help me out a lot. it's always going to be with you, and it is a big part of your life, and it kind of becomes you. It represents you. The tattoos, like, they all kind of define who I am, and they're bigger than they may seem when you first get them. They grow on you.
I have one tattoo. I got it about 4.5 years ago. The death of my father inspired me, just something to remember him. Yeah, it's something that kind of grew on me. I wouldn't consider myself like a tattoo person, so it was something that I kind of thought about for a little while. I don't know, that show Miami Ink was like really big at the time. I was watching a lot of TV, so I just kind of saw it, saw the way it kind of inspired people or it helped people, you know. So it was just something that kind of grew on me, and I just decided to do it. I think I spoke to some family members, and they weren't really too into it, but I just said, you know, something we're gonna do, and you know, you guys will. I think it's cool, you know. You know, it's definitely a cool experience. Something I never experienced before. I'm not really a tattoo person or piercings or anything like that, so it was kind of cool. You know, I kind of let it up to the artist to do it. I just brought the picture to him. I said, this is the kind of feel I'm going for. You don't have to do this exact thing. You know, just kind of use your creative whatever to go with it. And then he just kind of designed it, and it's all him. You kind of bring a picture of what you're looking for, and then, you know, before he actually did it, the second time I went there, he had kind of like a stencil thing that they use as kind of like a guide on your back at first. So I saw the picture and I said, yeah, that's great. You know? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now I couldn't see myself getting another one because I feel like people that have too many tattoos kind of takes away from the meaning, and you know, I'm pretty happy with this. I might get another one down the road, but I don't have any, you know, ideas right now. I didn't really know what to expect. I was kind of anticipating the worst because you see all the people in the shows like cry and stuff, or mostly the girls cry. But it wasn't too bad. The first couple, like, you know, when he like first started, I definitely felt that. But the guy was pretty good. He would go for about 20 seconds at a time, pause, 20 seconds at a time, pause. So it wasn't too bad. But after a while, I didn't really feel it too much. I was just trying to think to myself why I was doing it. And you know, after that, you know, the pain just kind of went away, but it was definitely longer than I thought. So I remember we were like doing it for a long time, and I asked him like, okay, so we're like almost done, right? He's like, no, we're about halfway done. So I was like, oh, jeez. You know, my dad was, I considered him like my best friend. He was a radio personality. He had done it since he was 20 years old. He had his own radio show, you know, when, you know, I was probably still in high school almost, you know. So this was him. This was like who he was. You talk to him and you could tell he did something, you know, with his voice, with media somehow. So this was definitely a part of who he was, a big part of who he was. So kind of when I think of him, that's the image I see. So that's the reason why I chose that image. And then, you know, we were really close. We were good friends. So it's definitely something that helped, you know, kind of with the whole grieving process and stuff. And it was a cool experience, you know. I never thought I'd ever get a tattoo. You know, I never really had anything that I kind of felt like strongly about that I would want it kind of on me forever. So the whole idea, people are like, really? You want a tattoo? Like, it kind of came out of nowhere. But, you know, I think it's cool. I think when people, you know, do too many of them, it's, you know, it should definitely mean something because it's with you forever. Like, people don't want to ask questions about it. Right. They think you're gonna like burst out crying, or, you know. And to me, it was something that kind of like, you know, be happy about. It was a cool memorial. And it's funny because, you know, we designed a cool kind of tombstone for my dad. And I look at it and I didn't even realize, but we kind of have the same pictures on it. So, you know, it's kind of funny that it kind of worked out like that. The radio station was a part of our life. I mean, you know, he really got us involved in everything. We would go to the radio station, we would go to gigs, we would go to appearances, like, so we kind of almost felt like we were in radio too. I mean, kind of a part of the business, so it was pretty cool. And so, I mean, you know, a lot of people probably wouldn't want to be remembered as far as their career, but I'm sure he would. He knew he wanted to be with music, you know, talking, doing something with music, but he knew the, the skill he had, and he knew, or at least as far as I know, he knew in high school that he wanted to do that. It's funny though, I had a lot of positive reaction from a lot of family members. Everybody who you never would think would like tattoo were like so kind of really into it, except my mother. But she saw me right when it was done, when it was all swollen and red, and she looked at me and said, oh, she was not happy. But, I think she gets it. I think she gets why, I did it. But to her, the whole process of doing it, the fact that it's there forever, the fact that there's still, people think it's bad for your health, or, certain places you can't donate blood or, give blood if you have a tattoo. Yeah, I know a lot of people think it's cool. It's moved some of my family members to like tears, So, I think everybody gets it once you see it, To me, it was kind of like a picture in your wallet, something that, would be with you all the time, something that's just on you. And, just something that could bring a smile to your face, kind of to remember him, and something that, one day down the road I lose my mind or whatever, it's always going to be there. So that was, that was the reason I wanted it.
A CSRMJM production.